I thought in this video we could work together on an issue, and you can see me how I approach it and how I get started and how I finish it, and see what you think and if you would approach it differently as well. We'll keep this really chilled and authentic today. So I'm looking through the status awaiting triage, and I did see one earlier on that caught my eye. I thought it would be quite interesting. So this one got raised. It says custom meta tags for SEO. And I thought that's actually quite interesting. So if I bring up BioDrop and I actually go to my profile and we do show page source, I am guessing it's going to be taking the bio as the page description. So let's have a look. Yes, the OG description, that's going to be for social media previews. And then you've got the description here as well. Exactly. So the ticket is suggesting that we have it so it's customizable. I think that makes sense. I think that's a really good idea. And you're going to notice some of the other challenges that we're going to come across, because if I go to my profile, where are we going to put that form? Like, where does it make sense? Does it make sense to be on this page? And now it's kind of making this page longer. Do we put it on the right-hand side here? We've got some challenges around that we both, that's me and all of you, need to work through. It's actually going to be quite interesting. Let's see. And you can ignore this alert. I've purposely kept my JSON file on the production platform so I can make sure that this alert still appears. But to be honest, I could probably remove my JSON file because I know it's there. I know it appears. And I think we have some automated tests around this. So let's see. So the first thing I would like to do is bring up a local running environment. So I do have one running already. And so if I change this from production to be localhost 3000, okay, we've got it running and I am logged in. And again, we'll have the same, that the bio will be used as the profile. Let's bring up the code and actually have a look. And again, I'm thinking about doing this and working through this as if you were next to me and we were pairing together on this. You know, I love pairing sessions on the EddieHub Discord. If I go to pages, and then this is the file that is used, because you can tell by the path, it's username. So when you go /EddieJoud, like the username, it's going to load up this file. So we do have some get server-side props. And then here in the page, we do have the titles and descriptions. Here you go. Here's the description. So it's clean bio. We do remove the markdown, and then the OG description is also here as well. And so the GitHub issue is suggesting that we change that into a customizable form field. Well, let's give that a go. So the other page we want to have a look at is this one, which is the manage profile. And I always do this on VS Code. I do Command P, and then I would type manage/profile, and it kind of auto-completes. I didn't type the full path, but it was good enough for me. And then we could put it at the bottom right at the end, I think, as well. Let me just do a pull. I think it's always safer. So if I open VS Code, let's see which branch we're in. Oh, that doesn't look right. Why has it not loaded my terminal correctly? That is interesting. And these things do happen. You know what? I'm just going to turn it off and then on again. And what I mean by that is I literally just closed VS Code. It has been like a month since I closed VS Code. And I'm going to reopen it, and let's have a look and see if it just give it a moment. That looks better. There we go. So we're in the main branch, and I will need to switch to a branch before I commit any changes. But I'll just keep making changes here, and then before I do any commits, I will switch to another branch. But I do want to do a pull and make sure I have the latest changes before I make any further changes. Otherwise I might end up with some conflicts. I should know my password. Are you kidding me? Third time lucky. Okay, so yeah, some changes came down. Okay, so let's reduce the terminal here. So what I'm thinking is we do have a text area here, so I could quite easily, just to get it working, drop it below. So above the save button, but below the toggle. Let's just hit save and see how it looks. It's not going to work, but hopefully we should see it. It's going to be pre-populated with the same information as above and all the rest. But just seeing how, that page is getting a bit longer. I think making use of the right-hand side would probably make more sense. Could that come later in another pull request as an enhancement, improvement? Probably. So maybe for now, that's visually okay. We need a bit of spacing up here, or I could put it above the toggle and see how it looks. I've kept it out of the section though, so that actually might not have been so good. Let me delete that and let me click on section, see where the section opens, and it actually starts in the form area. So okay, so we want to make sure we're inside that, and I think we could put it below tags and above the toggle. So I think we could put it in here. There we go. Let's hit save and see how that looks. So it looks a bit better. It still needs a bit more space there, and then we could easily add more spacing to that. I'm just interested to know why everything else is spaced out. Okay, I think I need to move this one down one as well. Undo what I just did. And I want to put it up one here. I think it should be in here. Let's have a look. Yes, that looks a bit better now. I had it outside this div, and this div, you can see it has got some gap Y6. It's got some stars on it. Okay, so now that looks better. Obviously, it's named incorrectly, but I think that's a good start. So the next thing we want to do is probably change it. So we're going to change this to say it's not bio. We could say meta description. Is that a good one, meta description? I think so. We don't want it to be just description. I don't think it's very clear. So if we do meta description, and I think we're using camel case for everything. I don't know if we've got another one that has 2 words, but we can do that for now, and we could say meta description. And the value will be meta description. We need to go create that at the top. This is how I work. Is in I've got it kind of working visually, and then I'm now changing that section of the code, and then I want to finish up top and actually make it work. For example, it's not set bio, it would be set meta description, but that doesn't actually exist at the moment. So if I save it, the page will break. Minimum length, maximum length. I need to find out what the standards are for that. So if we said HTML page description length, I'm guessing minimum could be empty, but what's the maximum? Yes, Google thought I was a bot. These are things that happen when you're coding all the time, which I think is really funny and interesting. Because usually when you watch a YouTube video, you see like 6 minutes and someone's built this amazing thing, and it happens really quickly, and it's never like that. It takes a lot more time. So it can be any length, but Google truncates snippets to about 160. Okay, so let's keep it at 160 then. I think that makes sense, and we could add that to the ticket in the pull request to make sense as well and give reason why we've done that. So let's put that to 160. And again, the minimum of 2 I think makes sense. Right, I'm not going to save it yet because it will all break. So what we do need to do is come up to the top of the page, and then we've got our use state. So we've got name, we've got bio tags, they're all single words. Oh, show notification. It's not a field in the HTML form field, but you can see here it's camel case. We did it just below bio, so I'm just going to duplicate bio and try and keep it in the same consistency. And what do we call the variable? My memory is terrible, meta description, so I'm going to copy that. And then I'm just going to paste over that, and then same with that, change the M to set with a capital M, and then it is going to be a lot simpler than that, and it's going to be profile dot, there we go. We could default it if it doesn't exist to the bio, which I think would actually make sense. So what we could do is default it to bio. I think that would be better. So if we default it to profile bio, it might be empty, hence why we've got a kind of fallback here. Whereas if we default it to bio, or I say default, more like a catch all, then it'll be set either way. So I think that works. So let me hit save, and I'm expecting it now to be the bio. Yep, that looks good. However, it is not stripped. It has got the markdown, which I think would cause problems. So where did that come from? And that happened somewhere, and I know we looked at it briefly before, and I can't remember where we saw that. We called it clean, didn't we? Was it in this page? Okay, it's not in the manage page, it's in this page. Clean bio. Okay, so if we search for clean bio, how do they do it? Okay, it uses remark to strip it. I think we would need to do the same on save as well, but we might better remove it from this page because we won't be needing it anymore. Because when you go to the manage page and you set your description, it will default to your bio and we'll strip it there. And then I don't think it'll be needed on this page, but I'm not going to delete anything from this page yet. Let's see how it goes, but I'm going to steal that. And I think we are going to want it on this page. And that is happening on get server-side props. So hopefully it can still happen on the client side as well. So let's have a look. And we do have a get server-side props here. So I could do it here if that made more sense. I'm going to do it in the client side for now, but we might have to move it or we might want to move it. But let's see. I don't know if I just put it here. We do it the same way. As you can see, when you're coding, there are just so many different ways to do things. And sometimes you've just got to try and see where it goes. So what I'm thinking is add it to clean bio. I think we do the same. We'll keep it completely consistent. So we've got profile. So let's add it there. And we'll need the imports as well. So we've got remark. Oh, and strip as well. Here we go. So we'll need to import both of those. I think we can remove it from the other page shortly as well. So clean bio will exist. But now what we did before, which I thought was very smart, isn't quite going to work because bio, we want the clean version of that. And if I use what's been set in the profile, then we don't have this fallback. Is that a big deal? It would just be empty. I just don't think that's a very good user experience because it should have something, but then have a look at my links below. Is that a good description? Well, it's better than nothing, I suppose. So we need to have a think what would make more sense. So just give me a minute. You have a think too, and I'll have a think as well. Let's get it working and we can tidy it up later on. So I'm going to go profile, clean bio. The thing is, I mustn't forget. Let's put a to-do on that. Oh no, don't autocomplete that. No, thank you, Copilot. Escape. To-do. Use bio. Let me just save that. Now, in theory, I don't think that should break the page. It doesn't. This is empty, which it shouldn't be because this doesn't exist. So it should use the clean bio. So that should actually work. Did we get an error on the page? Let's have a look. Oh, these could be old, these errors. Always clear them and let's start again. No, so that's fine for the moment. Oh, there we go. Now it's loaded. Just need a full refresh. Sometimes with Next.js, when it does the really awesome, by the way, kind of hot reloading, sometimes you just need to do a full refresh. So mine works fine, but I did have a bio already set. So you can see this bio looks like that bio, but without the markdown. So I need to remember to have it that if you don't have a bio, it still works. Well, actually, another way we could do it, thinking about it, again, as I talk through it, I get other ideas, which is why they say, rubber ducking, as in speaking to a rubber duck on your desk. I don't have one. But is good because you talk through these ideas. And one idea I thought I had, I could save this to a constant and then just use it in both places. So I could go something like constant default bio, save it to there, and then just go default bio, copy, not cut, copy. That actually still isn't going to work. Okay, that was me getting really excited. That isn't actually going to work because I want what's in here. I mean, I could do another kind of pipe again and do that. But I don't like the look of that. What do you think? Does that look not very nice? You know what? I'm going to save it for now. I think it should work. Let's have a look. Let's do a full page refresh again because we're using forms and did the hot reload. Let's do a full page refresh. It's not going to save it. We still need to do some API work. But we should be able to have this different to that and then get it to display in the page. So the next thing we want to do is Command P, and I wrote earlier on manage, and it was profile, and we've got this page open, but the one below it has got API in the path, and that's the one that I want. So let's open this one, and then we should see it where it gets updated. And what I like to do is see the outline of the file and open outline. We've got handler, which is be for the API, and then you'll get profile, update profile. So we want update profile, and we can see it comes down here. Let's have a look, tags. So what we want to do is add another one. So we could, I mean, again, under bio, if that makes sense. By the way, if you want to know what shortcut I did then, I did Shift Option down, it duplicates the line. So here we could say meta description. And we'll probably need to add it to the model as well. So let's have a look at that actually before I forget. If I type model profile, let's see what we've got. We've got bio, and so we can go meta description as well. It'll be a string, it's not required. Minimum of 2, but max of 160. We will do some client side validation as well, but we should also do server side too. So I'll leave that open, come back to this one. And this looks good. And it will validate. We do want it to validate the meta description. I just duplicated that line as well. I think that will all work okay. One thing to note with Mongoose, the ORM we're using for Mongo, it's what they officially recommend, even though I hear other tools like Prisma is pretty awesome as well. You just stop the application and restart it. So I've just stopped it and restarted it on my other screen. Otherwise, the models don't get updated. So that has caught me out many times before, so I don't want it to catch you out. So this will refresh. You can see it reloading at the top now. Once the app starts, it will take a minute the first time. And we should be able to save that and make something slightly different. So let's have a look, let's see. So we can say update. So this shouldn't affect the bio, if I've done it right. Maybe you saw something that I didn't. And then this should have, I can write it in capitals, I suppose. Let's save it. Let's see, it says it's been updated. So another good test is to refresh the whole page. And let's see, it didn't do the update. Let's show the database because I could be reading it out incorrectly. So let me bring the database onto this screen so you can have a look. So if I'm just gonna find my profile again, it didn't save it. I do not see meta description. What did I do wrong? We didn't get any errors. We can put in some console logs, we could step through it. There are a few things we can do. Well, it's definitely not saved in the database, so there's no point finding out or trying to search, are we pulling it out correctly? Because we know it's not being saved. So let's just make sure it's saved in the database correctly. And then once that's done, then we can make sure we're pulling it out correctly. But usually add it to the end here as well. I was just hitting refresh on these, making sure it is loading the data. I can't see bio. Oh, there's bio. Okay, so bio is there. Just checking using the right database as well, because it's got BioDrop 2 on it. And I was thinking, where's 1? So no, we're in the right database, but there is no meta description. Okay, let's work it through. So we've got the front end, and we can put in some console logs actually. So let's have a look. So it's meta description. And the other thing we can do is also check that we've used meta description everywhere and haven't named it something else. Like meta bio is in, I'm thinking of bio and copying that part of the code. I could have duplicated bio or not changed it. So you can click on source control on the side, then click on the files and it will show you what's changed. So meta description, that is correct. That's what I've called it. That is just to get the bio clean. And we have called it meta description and meta description. And then if we go down to the form, and we have done set meta description, you can use markdown syntax. That is definitely wrong. So we just go remove that before I forget. And then this is in the API, meta description. I think that's spelled correctly. And then we validate it, and that's it. Let me check the API in a second, but I do just want to remove that markdown part because that is not needed. The other issue why it might not have saved was maybe it was more than 160 characters, but I should have got an error if that was the case. So let's have a look. We validate it. Where do we use the update? And then we update here. Okay, let's just do a console log of what it thinks this is. We can see if the data is coming through. And what I like to do is just put something quite obvious so I can see it in the logs quite quickly. We bring this up and make it bigger so you can see it also. Update, save. There we go. We did see it, and meta description undefined. Okay, so now we know that the data is not making it to the database. Okay, and this error is, associate the profile. That's fine. I know that happens on my local machine. Okay, I've just taken a coffee break. Now I'm back. So where did we get to? We found out that it was undefined. The data wasn't making it to the API. So let's see how we would go and debug that. So the API is not getting the data. Let's have a look. And data comes in to this function. So let's have a look and make sure it's being passed. So when the form is submitted, I think I can guess where the error is. The data is not being sent. So here's the handle, the submission, we prevent default, and it's being a put method and it's not being added on to here. So here we want to say meta description. I think that's our issue. So I've hit save, it's reformatted it. Oh, I did not mean to close the file. Okay, so it's reformatted it, brilliant. And I'm just gonna run it again and let's have a look and see if it works. So I'm gonna add updates to it again now, hit save. And we can also check the terminal, but I'm just gonna do a refresh and let's see how that looks. Refresh, an update is there. And to prove it to you, because I know some of you are thinking, not sure about that. Let's say, we can just say update 2 or save. Just hit save and I'm gonna press the save button. Press the save button. I'm going to refresh the page and you can see it's there. And if we go to view the profile, it won't be there because we haven't updated that part yet. So if I view the profile and I show the page source, you will see that it is still the previous one. There's no save at the end, and also for the description. So let's go and solve that next. We're almost there. I wonder if you would have done things differently. Again, we wanted to remove those potentially as well. Let's see. So rather than clean bio now, we want to use meta description. Copilot has auto-completed that for us. And the same with OG description as well. So let's have a look. We hit refresh and show page source. There you go. You can see save is at the end of description and save is at the end of the OG description. Let's do one more change because I know some of you are still unsure if it can be trusted. So we're going to come down here and we're going to say, we'll just change the whole thing. This is my meta description or my custom meta description. There we go. Save. Bio is still the same, and we're going to see it on the profile now. So let's go have a look at the profile. And you can see that's how it was. That's correct. And if we refresh the page, this is my custom meta description. This is my custom meta description. I think that looks good. I think that works well. Are there any other conditions we need to think of? Do let me know. I'm thinking this clean bio now we're not actually using, because if I do a search for that, we are using it up here and get server-side props, and that's it. We're not using the word clean bio anywhere else. So I actually also think we can delete that, which means we can also delete those. There we go. Clean up the code, always good to do that. And we should really run some automated tests. We are using Playwright, so we can write some automated tests just to make sure that each time we do save, that does appear in the profile page as well. But I think that's looking good. Well, I hope you enjoyed pairing with me today. I know I did. Excuse my cold, but I thought it would take 20, 30 minutes out and code together. But if you did enjoy that and you want to do that more, then we do have our EddieHub community Discord calls where we do pair on working on some tasks together. Hopefully I'll see you there. Link in description below.